fifth hole, and it goes in. That's a par 4, 302 yards out. The last practice round, the last hole-in-one in an actual tournament, thank you, Mike, happened back in 2006. And like you said, they tee off, what, in a couple of hours, right?
A few hours, yeah. Our time out here west. So.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, go home and watch it later tonight.
Be fun to be there.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.
It ain't got nothing to do with Libya. It ain't got nothing to do with Russia war. Nothing. It's just gouging right here. I don't know how people can even afford to get gas.
Tonight, frustration all across the West Coast as gas prices continue to soar, and people in California are really feeling the pinch. In some spots, drivers are paying nearly $8 a gallon to fill up. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. California Governor Gavin Newsom puts the blame on oil companies, accusing them of price gouging, and he's called on the state's Energy Commission to look into whether prices are being manipulated by the industry. Now, here's how gas prices in the West compare to the rest of the country. This map from AAA shows those states in red, all of them on the West Coast, with the highest gas prices in the nation right now. The states in blue have the cheapest gas. Nationally, the average price stands at $3.83 a gallon. But of course, it is a much different story in the West. The average price in California is about $6.03 a gallon. That's up more than 70 cents compared to just a month ago. The national average is up less than a nickel over that same time period. California's Governor Gavin Newsom told Fox News' Sean Hannity it just doesn't make sense.
Your state is much more than every other state.
Exactly, $2
Why?
higher, because they're screwing us. There's no justification.
It's not regulation, taxation?
Yes, 85 cents. 85 cents, low carbon fuel standard.
How much does California get per gallon for gasoline tax?
When you add the gas tax, you add cap and trade, and you add the low carbon fuel standards, and then periodically add, and I'm being as transparent as I can be, and you add our unique blend, you get a differential around 85 cents. That you can justify, not $2.06. That's where the
so
oil companies
you should
are
be
screwing.
$1 more a gallon.
If you want to trust the oil companies, I can assure you, these guys don't have your back or the American public.
Let me tell you something.
Fox 11's Phil Schuman spoke with an energy insider about what exactly is driving up fuel prices.
John Dovlatian's BMW can hold almost 20 gallons of gas, but today he's only putting in 2.3 for a grand total of $15.
No choice. Everything is going up, not only gas.
People are talking, among them Governor Gavin Newsom, who was quite blunt when I asked him about rising gas prices today.
People are pissed off, as am I, about being ripped off by the oil companies. And that's all it is. They're ripping you off because they can rip you off.
Like he did last year, Newsom will push the state to start selling so-called winter blend as soon as possible. It's cheaper. His new watchdog agency and its power to limit when refiners can shut down for maintenance, to subpoena records and penalize refiners, still off in the future. Meantime,
when the governor says this is price gouging, what do you say?
We say it's public policy and market forces. That's what contributes to costs at the pump.
Kevin Slagle represents the Western States Petroleum Association.
The cost of crude is going up. There's maintenance going on at refineries. There are public policies that have increased costs. All of those things together is what makes California's costs unique.
Slagle says as long as California imports most of its crude to refine and continues to have the highest taxes and most restrictive environmental policies in the country, we're stuck with this price structure. So you can do what Clarinda Gress is planning.
I'm really about trying to move to a full electric vehicle, my next purchase.
And is gas prices part of the reason why?
Yeah, absolutely. But also the planet, you know. Yeah. I want to have a better planet.
Corporate citizen.
Yeah, I want to be have a better planet for my grandkids.
And that was Fox 11's Phil Schuman reporting for us tonight. A group of California GOP lawmakers are calling for a suspension of the state's gas tax to try to ease prices at the pump. In Colorado, the remains of a woman who disappeared over 3 years ago have now been found. 49-year-old Suzanne Morphew, a mother of two, was reported missing on a bike ride in 2020. Her body was found about 40 miles from where she went missing near the town of Moffett, southwest of Colorado Springs. Her husband, Barry Morphew, was initially charged with her murder. Prosecutors, though, dismissed the case as the trial was just about to begin, saying they wanted more time to find her body. Her husband put out a statement today calling this latest news heartbreaking and saying that he is innocent.
$11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Body camera video of a Seattle police officer making insensitive comments about a woman who was struck and killed by a patrol car. And just weeks after that video went public, a new move by the police department is not sitting well with some in that community. The department has ended its partnership with an artificial intelligence firm called Trulio that analyzes police body camera video to help out with investigations. As Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman reports, the police chief insists the decision to cut ties with that company had nothing to do with that high-profile body camera case.
Seattle police officers have been wearing body cameras for years. Their professionalism assessed by Trulio, a Chicago-based AI company analyzing the videos to help automate supervision and facilitate coaching while detecting use of force pursuits and other incidents. The department had renewed a 2-year, $400,000 contract on January 15th after a 2-year trial showed promise, according to the Seattle Times. Trulio CEO telling the Times the contract was canceled on February 7th. Some say the timing doesn't sit right with them. West Seattle Council member Lisa Herbold calling on the department to release more information. She wrote on X saying, quote, according to new reports, SPD was pressured by the Seattle Police Officers Guild to stop using Trulio days after Otterer made vile comments on body camera. SPD needs to provide a full accounting of what happened and why.
$11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
I can tell you that there was not any relation to that. There was concern about, from officers that had raised after hearing that we were actually in a pilot testing phase of the system.
For the first time since the comments were made, Chief Adrian Diaz shared some insight during a press conference.
Because what we were actually seeing with the system, that they couldn't distinguish between the officer voice and a suspect voice. But so it had some things that it needed to be worked out. And there was concern about, officers feeling like they were potentially being surveilled.
Officer Daniel Otterer's comments were allegedly captured January 23rd after he responded to Officer Kevin Dave hitting 23-year-old Janavi Kandula as he responded to an overdose near the intersection of Thomas and Dexter in South Lake Union. Kandula died that night. 2 weeks later, the contract with Trulio severed. Chief Diaz reiterated there is no relation there.
Well, it's still, even in a case like this, it wouldn't have probably been able to raise that issue because they look at things that would be something escalating of a situation. So the terminology that an officer uses, the just sometimes the anger that might come up. So just the elevated heart rate, they can be able to, your voice inflections would change, and we wouldn't, even in this case, we wouldn't have used it in that manner.
And that was Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman reporting for us tonight. Chief Diaz says this isn't the end for Trulio in Seattle. He says the department may use the firm again in the future and is also testing out other similar services.
Why don't you wait after, hang on a second. I'll be happy to meet with you after I speak, okay?
President Biden being called out by a climate change protester in Arizona today as he wrapped up a 3-day visit here to the West Coast. The president left Arizona late this afternoon after taking part in several events in the Phoenix area. The main focus of this visit was to honor the late Senator John McCain. During a speech in Tempe, he announced federal funding will be allocated to create a new library and museum dedicated to McCain's honor. McCain served in the Senate for more than 30 years. He died of brain cancer in 2018. President Biden spent time today talking about a farewell letter McCain wrote near the end of his life.
Here's what John wrote, and I quote, "We are citizens of the world's greatest republic, a nation of ideals, not blood and soil. Americans never quit. They never hide from history. America makes history." And John was right.
The president has also faced some criticism from local leaders in Arizona along the border. They wanted to see the president focus more attention on border issues during this visit to Arizona. That state is expected to be a key battleground in the next presidential election. After taking part in last night's Republican presidential primary debate in Southern California, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made a fundraising stop today in the Northern California farming community of Salinas. KTVU's Mark Sayer shows us how supporters and protesters showed up for his arrival.
As Ron DeSantis' motorcade left the exclusive Corral de Tierra Golf Club, protesters were out in force. The invitation to the event shows it was a $3,300 per person fundraiser, or $5,000 per couple. The host names on the invitation are some of the biggest employers and agricultural producers in the Salinas Valley, but those who protested outside the event say Governor DeSantis is not welcome here.
So he has written anti-immigration, anti-LGBTQ, anti-abortion laws that has put our people's lives in danger.
Protesters are also alarmed that those attending this event are, in many cases, their employers.
And so for a family that makes their money out of people's sweats and tears and sacrifices, it is very concerning because he is not welcome here. Monterey County, Salinas does not stand for that.
Earlier this week, the City Council of Salinas actually passed a resolution 6-0, making it clear the council's opposition to Governor DeSantis' visit. The resolution was co-authored by Councilman Anthony Rocha.
It's important for elected officials at all levels of government to call out hate, bigotry, racism, and homophobia. And Ron DeSantis' agenda is one full of hate, and it's a dangerous one.
But Jeff Gorman, the chair of the Monterey County Republican Party, defended the visit.
So there's a big need for dialogue, and I'm grateful that Governor DeSantis came here and spoke to us.
Gorman points out that the big agricultural plants not only provide jobs, but also tax revenue to the city and county, which buoys everyone who lives here.
In regard to why people are in such an uproar, I think there is a lot of fear in our community because there are immigration laws that are being ignored, and it's a Republican plank, not just DeSantis, but I think every Republican feels the laws around immigration need to be upheld.
While Governor DeSantis' visit here to Salinas was short and the protest was noisy, there were no reported problems. Reporting in Salinas, I'm Mark Sayer, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Surveillance video shows a brazen crime. Thieves using force to steal a dog from someone inside a Southern California convenience store. Coming up tonight, the welcome news for that dog's owner. Also, a non-binary student in Oregon opens up about taking their school district to court. Their message about bullying and winning a discrimination lawsuit.
And in weather, it has been a bit of a warm-up across a good portion of California, but we have been watching some clouds, some rain showers up to the north, and we are expecting a cool down and also increase in shower activity. We'll have more in your forecast coming up.
In Washington, 2 lawsuits have been filed against electric utility company Inland Power, accusing that utility of sparking a wildfire last month that killed a man and destroyed 240 homes. One of the suits, filed on behalf of a property owner, alleges the company's power lines are bare, making it easy to start a fire. The second lawsuit, filed on behalf of 44 residents, says an Inland Power outdoor light was sparking near the origin of what was called the Gray Fire. That fire started near Spokane on August 18th and is currently 97% contained. Authorities are still investigating the exact cause of that fire. Today, lawmakers on Capitol Hill grilled the president of Hawaiian Electric about that utility's operations on the day of the deadly firestorm on Maui. Last month's fire destroyed much of the town of Lahaina and killed at least 97 people. Hawaiian Electric has insisted it is not to blame for that fire. A dog that was taken by force from its owner inside a Southern California convenience store is back home safe tonight. But Los Angeles police continue to search for at least one of the people who stole that pit bull mix and attacked the dog's owner. Authorities released this surveillance video from a 7-Eleven store in North Hollywood on Monday. In the background, you can see a woman assaulting the dog's owner while a man steals the pet. Volunteers mobilized to search for that dog.
We got a tip from the Chris Kelly Foundation about the situation, so I'm here to scout the area to see if the dog is around or maybe try to help in any way. I mean, there's many things they can do. You know, the first thing that comes to mind is a bait dog. If it's unfixed, you know, breeding.
And their efforts did pay off. That 11-year-old pit bull mix named Drake has been recovered, and authorities say one suspect has been taken into custody. We may be only a week into fall, but it looked more like winter in one part of Washington today. A webcam on Mount Rainier captured images of slushy snow falling outside the National Park's Visitor Center. That snow didn't stick around too long. It melted by the afternoon. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking conditions all across the West. Also some snow up in the Sierra.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Some changes. Yeah, so all week long we have been watching the clouds and the rain showers and even the snow showers move into the Pacific Northwest. So this area picking up the most active weather all week long. The change that's developing is some of this energy will be dropping to the south, impacting Northern California, the Bay Area, possibly even down toward Los Angeles as well. So the system up here is on the move, and we are expecting some changes beginning Friday as we head into your Friday afternoon and into Friday night. Definitely some more clouds headed, moving in from the north to the south. Current numbers, as you can see, it's 55 in Seattle. Reno is 71, Los Angeles 69 degrees, San Francisco in the 60s, and still talking about some heat out toward Palm Springs and in Phoenix, but they will even cool off with this pattern change. This was the scene today in Seattle, where they still have some lingering cloud cover, some lingering rain showers. High today only in the 60s. And in San Francisco, lots of sunshine for today. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. So day 2 of temperatures in the 70s, but definitely cooling things off for tomorrow. And in Arizona, as you can see, Sedona, temperatures in the upper 80s. A beautiful picture snapped earlier this afternoon. Showing you this, the overall weather story. So showers ending in the Pacific Northwest, but that cooler air, which has been kind of focused up here, will be spreading to the south and also bringing in some more cloud cover and even the possibility of some scattered rain showers by the weekend. Still sunny out toward Phoenix, out toward Denver as well. And you can see the quiet weather pattern over the next several days. This will impact the Sierra as well. Lake Tahoe, this was the scene earlier showing you lots of clear skies. But what's interesting with this pattern, some rain and some snow showers could be developing. Snow levels are up there over 8,000 feet, but that could be the case as we head into Saturday with some rain showers in the Sierra and possibly some upper elevation snowfall as we start off the weekend. Here's the forecast model. It's showing you the cloud cover moving in, the rain showers. There's a slight chance of a rain shower in the Bay Area for tomorrow, for your Friday, but the main activity moves in on Saturday and then kind of swinging down to the south and to the east on Sunday. So it looks like that drops in from the north and then kind of scoots out to the east for the second half of the weekend. Highs for tomorrow will be for your Friday, as you can see here, showing you some cities. Still Phoenix close to 100 degrees, Reno in the lower 70s, upper 50s to lower 60s up in the Pacific Northwest. And here's the overall weather game plan with some rain showers making a comeback in San Francisco on Saturday, possibly the same same deal in Southern California, and even a break in the heat out toward Phoenix, down into the 80s. Look at that by Sunday. So some changes headed our way over the next few days, Alex.
Yeah, things are going to get interesting this weekend here in the West. Mark, thank you. Fast food workers in California are getting a raise. Governor Newsom signed a bill into law today to raise their pay. This bill establishes a $20 an hour minimum wage for cooks and cashiers. Right now, the median wage for fast food workers in California is $16.31 an hour. The law will also create a statewide fast food council that will develop standards for minimum wages, working hours, and workplace conditions. Those raises go into effect on April 1st. There's no word if the fast food restaurant industry will be raising their prices in response. An Oregon family is talking about winning a discrimination lawsuit against the local school district. A non-binary student sued the Greater Albany School District, claiming staff failed to do enough to protect children from bullying. Fox 12's Mia Villanueva reports a jury wants the school district to pay the student's family hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The bullying started at school for Lear on Lake Kelsey when they were just 10 years old. They are 15 years old now, but they say that period of their life is still really painful to reflect on. They say people called them a homophobic word or the F slur at school.
In 4th and 5th grade, I had conversations with my mother, and my mother said that she was reporting this to school administrators.
At first I was optimistic. I thought the school would do something about it. And then when that didn't happen, and it continued to happen over and over again and continued to go on, that's when it got really scary because their mental health was deteriorating.
Leor and their mom say even after reporting the bullying to school administrators, nothing was done. That's when they filed an emergency transfer request to Corvallis and sued the district. Leor received a $300,000 settlement after a 12-person jury determined the district and a former principal did in fact discriminate against them because of their gender. The Greater Albany Public School District released a statement regarding the case, saying, quote, "Our district is leaning on the Oregon Department of Education supporting gender expansion students guidance, which was released just this January. This guidance helps our staff understand how to best support our LGBTQ+ students and create classroom environments in which all students may thrive."
And that was Fox 12's Mia Villanueva reporting for us tonight. The school district has had a diversity inclusion program running ever since 2021. A rare sighting of a jaguar in Arizona coming up on West Coast Wrap tonight, where scientists believe the big cat may have come from. Also, we'll break down how this year's Idaho potato harvest will do more than just bring spuds to stores. Scientists are poring over some new images from a rare jaguar sighting in southern Arizona. The wild animal has nearly disappeared from the region over the last 100 years. Fox 10's Lindsay Regas spoke with one scientist about why the big cats might be migrating back to that area.
A mystery jaguar recently captured by federally run trail cameras. Photographs that have yet to be released to the public, but seen by Russ McSpadden, Southwest conservation advocate at the Center for Biological Diversity.
The image that was captured, unfortunately, doesn't allow us to determine which cat this is.
McSpadden says in the last 20 years, there's been photographic evidence of 7 jaguars in our region and 3 in southern Arizona since 2015. The mystery jaguar would be the 4th.
They nearly disappeared from this part of the range, over the last 100 years due to habitat loss.
Another factor, double stacked shipping containers on the southern slopes of the Huachuca Mountains right at the border.
The federal government intervened. My organization, the Center for Biological Diversity, we also took legal action, specifically notifying the governor of our intent to sue for him blocking this important jaguar migration corridor.
Now that the containers have come down, McSpadden says this could be a jaguar that they haven't spotted before.
So it could be a brand new cat that crossed from Mexico into the United States, or it could be the cat sombra, which means shadow in Spanish, that has lived in Arizona since 2016. Every single time we get a jaguar detection in this very fragile, very important northern population, it's a moment to celebrate.
Lindsay Regas, Fox 10 News.
It is potato harvest time in Idaho. The annual Miller Research Potato Day happened this week. On Monday, people flocked to Miller Field in Rupert to pick as many potatoes as they wanted. Researchers do keep a few of them to test for pesticides and disease. The event has been around for about 15 years, but just a few years ago, researchers had an idea that would make Potato Day even more beneficial to the community. They turned the event into an annual food drive where people can drop off items for those in need. A wonderful idea. That does it for us tonight here on West Coast Wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night.